I'm excited to dive into this styling process with you guys and show you a little bit more about how I create on Olive & Oak's gorgeous styling surfaces. As I go through my process, remember the 4 things I've talked about. 1, tell a story. 2, use texture. 3, use depth. And 4, remember the way that your eye is going to read the flat lay story. We are going to be styling now on this super cute miniature styling surface. This is perfect for up close details, super small items like rings, vow books, things like that. And so what I want to show you here is just how you can take something super simple and sort of style it on something this small. So this would be perfect for a shot just like this. Let's actually swap out ring boxes here. For a shot just like this with a ring, an envelope liner, and a little bit of a backdrop. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more visually interesting, I think pulling in a little bit of these calligraphy elements is great. Now, these miniature styling boards are never going to be used for a super wide shot, but if you're getting in really close just to get some of those wedding day details, I think this is a really beautiful way to go. Now, if you want to pull things away and again focus on something really up close and simple, that's again a really classic, beautiful wedding shot. You can pull in a boutonniere. This is kind of a fun, super open tulip right now. It's feeling really organic. Pulling that in like that makes for a really beautiful detail shot, and you get a little bit of that gold calligraphy pulling through. So again, those super tight, close shots where you're getting sort of the really detailed elements of the gold calligraphy and the shine of the diamond and the texture of the florals and the ribbon. All of that is perfect on these miniature styling mats. You can also style something like a vow book. Super simple, just right up close. You can pop a ring box into it, you can layer a boutonniere onto it, whatever you want to do with, you know, a really super small, tight focus. I also love the idea of something like this where it almost looks like those are a little peek of the wedding vows. So anything like that, super small. I also love this blue color. I think if you wanted to create another version of our growing envelope, you could bring in a couple of these blooms here and then tuck in a few of your boutonnieres, maybe a tulip or 2, or 3. And then bring in your ring box for a detail like that. That's a really unique way to incorporate the florals and some of the details. And then again, it's just all about the layers, you know, pulling things back here, getting those little peaks of blue in certain places and making sure that everything feels really layered and interesting to the eye. So another perfect use of this miniature styling board. I'm now going to show you another invitation suite. If you're in a situation where all you have is one of these miniature styling boards, I do think there are ways that you can use these boards to capture more of the invitation suite. So for this one, obviously it barely fits the full envelope, but I think that if you're coming in close on some of those details, it won't even be a problem. And I think it's all about making sure that you still have a little bit of interest, even though you only have minimal space to include things. And I think with these, it's even okay if things bleed off the page a little bit, because it's all about where things overlap and where those textures are going. This would be the perfect place to add in a few wax seals maybe. You could consider including a few vintage stamps. Not a bright pink one or a bright blue one, but something to add a little bit more visual interest, or swapping out the ring box for something super organic like a ring dish like that. That's a really beautiful use of it. And then again, if you wanted to sort of pull everything back and keep it all very minimal, an invitation, an envelope with a liner, and a ring with a dish. Really, really beautiful and simple use. You could tack that down a little bit if you wanted to, or since you won't get the border, kind of place something up there to keep it all flat. But I think that's a really beautiful use of a small space. And then, as always, paring it back even further. Something just like that is absolutely gorgeous, as is something like this. You could even take this opportunity to style your save the date here. I love when the save the dates are styled just a little bit different than the main invitation. If you have a save the date that was a little bit more casual in style. So of course you wouldn't want to be getting any of the bottoms of these tulips, but if you wanted to create, you know, again, a little bit of a garden base here, that is another really beautiful and unique shot. On the back side of this styling board, we have a print, which is super unique and obviously can only be applied to, you know, the perfect setting. But I think that an invitation like this that is super classic and strong, I think it can stand alone on a background like this, and having images like this for your portfolio and your social media is really, really helpful when creating a really beautiful and cohesive grid. So something like that is a great way to use a small patterned piece.